Game 1 of the playoffs, the Fever had nearly 2 million viewers tuning in, while all the other games had around 400,000. Even the WNBA Countdown, which was aired before the Indiana Fever game, had more viewers than 2 of the series.
The league versus Caitlin Clark, and that is just absolutely false. It is unfair to the women that have been there building this league to this moment so that Caitlin Clark's popularity could take it to the...
Game 1 of the playoffs revealed something almost unbelievable. The Indiana Fever pulled in nearly 2 million viewers, while the rest of the game struggled to even reach 400,000. That's not just a difference, that's a massive divide. We're talking about one game outperforming others by 4-5x, and even more shocking, the pre-game show before the Fever matchup drew higher numbers than some playoff games themselves. That kind of gap doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't happen randomly. It points to something much bigger happening behind the scenes, something the league can't ignore anymore.
It's like we're not going to be seeing Caitlin Clark play basketball again for another 200 days. An ESPN reporter said at the end of the Indiana Fever Connecticut Sun Game 2 that Caitlin Clark almost definitely will not be playing basketball this offseason. So no overseas and no 3-on-3 unrivaled.
There's been a growing debate around this. Some people argue that it's unfair to give all the credit to one player. They say the league has been building for years, that countless athletes have contributed to this moment. And that's true. The foundation was built long before this season. But at the same time, the numbers are forcing a different conversation. Because when one player arrives, and suddenly everything skyrockets, it raises a serious question. Is this collective growth, or is it concentrated impact? And right now, that question is becoming harder and harder to avoid.
The 2023 season, the WNBA had grown by 40% viewership from 2022 to 2023. But with Caitlin Clark's arrival, it's grown by 400% viewership. What that means is if the WNBA were continue to grow at the rate it grew from 22 to 23, it would take until 2028 to do what Caitlin Clark...
Now comes the part that's changing everything. Caitlin Clark is stepping away, for weeks, possibly even months. No overseas games. No off-season tournaments. No extra appearances. For fans, that means one thing: they won't be seeing her on the court anytime soon. And almost immediately, the effect is being felt. Interest is cooling. Conversations are slowing. Some fans are already saying they won't be watching until she returns. It's not just about missing games, it's about losing momentum. And that's where things start to get serious.
I wonder if Caitlin, in every post-game press conference, she came out and talked about the kind of hateful comments that she was getting. If she came out and told everybody the reason why she has personal security that goes with her every single place, it's a lot. And so it's not just Caitlin Clark fans or Indiana Fever fans. It is not all going in one direction.
To really understand this moment, you have to look at the growth. Before Caitlin Clark arrived, the WNBA was improving steadily, around 40% growth in viewership year over year. That's solid. That's progress. But then she entered the league. And everything changed. Viewership didn't just increase, it exploded by 400%. Think about that. What would have taken the league 5 to 6 years to achieve happened in just one season. That's not normal growth. That's a seismic shift.
Wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league. And she's a rookie, targeted by society, targeted by her looks, targeted by her reputation, targeted by the disrespect that they've shown to the WNBA. She said, no, they're expecting this rookie class to be perfect. This rookie class isn't even one of the best rookie classes in the...
So now, the spotlight turns to one major question. Who is the face of the WNBA? Because when Clark is on the court, attention follows. But now that she's gone, even temporarily, the league is entering a test. Analysts are watching closely. Fans are watching closely. Because this is the moment that reveals whether the league can sustain itself without its biggest draw. If attendance drops, if viewership dips, the answer becomes clear.
Clark effect is definitely real. I mean, we can all see that. However, experiencing it in person is totally different. I was at the Fever and Indiana game last night. And the amount of 22s that I saw on the way to the arena and inside the Capital One Arena might as well have just been a home game for Caitlin Clark. Not Indiana, Caitlin Clark. The thing is, that didn't surprise me. But what did surprise me was how packed the game was.
What makes this situation even more complex is that Clark's impact isn't just about basketball. She's been under intense pressure since day one. Constant media attention. Heavy criticism. Even personal security concerns. Every move she makes is watched, analyzed, and debated. And yet, despite all of that, she continued to perform at an elite level. She didn't just carry expectations, she carried the spotlight of an entire league. That kind of pressure isn't normal, and it shows just how big her presence really is.
Caitlyn's departure, do we think that these new WNBA fans are going to stick around for the rest of the playoffs? The Liberty Aces series might be one that draws some numbers. The disparity between 1.8 million and around 400,000 is wild, especially with football season being in
Her rookie season wasn't just impressive, it was transformational. From deep three-pointers to elite court vision, she brought a style of play that fans couldn't look away from. Every possession felt exciting. Every game felt important. She didn't just play, she created moments. Moments that went viral. Moments that brought new fans into the sport. And that's what made her different. She wasn't just performing, she was changing how people experienced the game.
Now let's not talk viewership, let's talk ticket sales. Bear with me. Ticket sales grew in 2023 by 16% from 2022. Ticket sales have grown by 93% in 2024. What that means is without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA would have taken till 2029 or 2030 to get to where Caitlin Clark has gotten them.
No matter where she played, the result was the same. Packed arenas. Sold-out crowds. Fans traveling across cities just to watch her play live. It didn't matter if it was a home game or away game, it felt like her presence alone could fill seats. People weren't just supporting their teams anymore. They were showing up for the experience of watching Caitlin Clark. And that kind of draw is extremely rare.
Comes millions and millions and millions of more eyeballs. And with those millions and millions and millions of more eyeballs, unfortunately, is going to come some people who are...
Now, with her out of the playoffs, the shift is impossible to ignore. Viewership is already starting to decline. The excitement isn't the same. The buzz is quieter. Weekend games, usually the biggest draws, are expected to take a hit. And it makes sense. Because for many fans, she wasn't just part of the league, she was the reason they tuned in. Without her, that connection starts to fade.
Things that this group accomplished that, a lot of people probably didn't think was possible, one, to start the season, and two, after the start we had to the season. So, yeah, it'll definitely be probably a little weird for me over the course of the first couple of weeks, and then I'm sure I'll get bored and pick up a basketball again. So,
Caitlin Clark didn't just attract viewers, she created must-see television. Fans weren't just watching for competition. They were watching for her moments, the deep shots, the impossible passes, the intensity she brought to every game. She turned regular matchups into events. And when one player can do that consistently, they become more than an athlete, they become a phenomenon.
They don't want it to grow if it's certain people at the face. And there is still this undertone of jealousy that for some reason I cannot get around calling it anything else but that, because I don't know what else it could be. I thought it was going to get better this season, but it hasn't. There are still people who seemingly, to me, feel like they just don't want Caitlin to be a part.
The numbers behind this are staggering. Ticket sales jumped by nearly 93% this year. Without her, that level of growth could have taken until 2029 or 2030. That's how much she accelerated everything. It's not just popularity, it's economic impact. Revenue. Attendance. Visibility. She didn't just grow the league, she fast-forwarded its timeline by years.
What is the major point that you want to make here, your major thesis statement on this? Because every time Caitlin Clark comes up, I feel like there's something that you want to get off your chest in terms of this narrative, where you're frustrated.
Well, first of all, I'm not frustrated. Number two, I did get stuff off my chest on numerous occasions. I'm just reiterating my points because I think one of the things that needed to be mentioned was that even though Caitlin Clark is new to this, and even though she has proven to be a potentially sensational player, the resentment that some, not most, not all, that stuff that was going on.
Now, she's stepping away to rest after an exhausting season. And honestly, it makes sense. She's played non-stop, from college finals to the WNBA to playoffs, without a real break. But her absence creates a massive challenge for the league. Because now, the WNBA has to prove something. Can it maintain this level of interest without her? Or will everything slow down until she returns? One thing is certain, when Caitlin Clark steps back onto the court, the entire basketball world will be watching again. And the league will feel it instantly.